Welcome to Conversations with Big Rich. This is an interview-style podcast. These interviewed are all involved in the off-road industry. Being involved, like all of my guests are, is a lifestyle, not just a job. I talk to past, present, and future legends, as well as business owners, employees, media, and land use warriors. Men and women who have found their way into this exciting and addictive lifestyle we call off-road. We discuss their personal history, struggles, successes, and reboots. We dive into what drives them to stay active in off-road. We all hope to shed some light on how to find a path into this world that we live and love and call off-road.
Whether you're crawling the Red Rocks of Moab or hauling your toys to the trail, Maxxis has the tires you can trust for performance and durability. 4 wheels or 2. Maxxis tires are the choice of champions because they know that whether for work or play, for fun or competition, Maxxis tires deliver. Choose Maxxis. Tread victoriously.
Have you seen 4Low magazine yet? 4Low magazine is a high-quality, well-written, four-wheel drive-focused magazine for the enthusiast market. If you still love the idea of a printed magazine, something to save and read at any time, 4Low is the magazine for you. 4Low cannot be found in stores, but you can have it delivered to your home or place of business. Visit 4lowmagazine.com to order your subscription today. All right, on this episode of Conversations with Big Rich, I am doing my first repeat from episode 92, way back in January 25th, 2022, 3 years ago. I talked with JT Taylor, the American Badass, and we have JT back on the air this time because JT's got some cool things coming up and life has changed over the last 3 years. So JT, thank you for coming back on, and let's talk about the future.
No, thanks for having me, man. I had a really good time doing it last time, and I've enjoyed listening to it several times, driving down the road, going from race to race.
Awesome. And people seem to enjoy the podcast as well because you're actually in, after 253 episodes, you are the number 5 rated listened to, and all of those that are higher than yours in listens are all people that I talked to before I talked to you. So your show's done really well.
Oh, well, that's cool. I'm glad people enjoy it.
Right. So let's jump in and talk about the last 3 years. So the last time we talked, you were just getting ready to start at Mid-America, and we've got some things coming up in the future. But let's talk about from then to now.
Yeah, we ran Ultra 4 there for a couple of years with Mid-America, and then Robinette decided that he was getting out of the race business, and so Ultra 4 went back to Hammer King, and so I kind of looked in a different direction, and we started Heartland Racing Association there in Oklahoma, and we raced at Mid-America for 2 races, and then the pending sale got it to where we couldn't race there anymore, and so we paused our series and working on a piece of property outside of Tulsa that got a huge building on it and enough room to put a nice short course on. So working on that and keeping our fingers crossed that we can get something going, because the location is really good. It's like 8 minutes from the Hard Rock Casino Hotel and 15 minutes from the international airport. So it's really good location outside of Tulsa.
Yeah, it sounds like it. 15 from the hotel or from the airport and 8 minutes from Hard Rock. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's where, and as you well know from running races, the closer you can stay to city center, you're going to get those casual spectators instead of the hardcore enthusiasts.
Correct. And that's one of the things that always kills us with the rock crawling. We're none of our locations are, in the heart of anywhere.
Nope. Except
the wilderness, basically. We got our next event coming up, first one of this season, and it's Baghdad, Arizona. Now, most time when I mention Baghdad, they go, where? But it's a little mining town. There's only 2 mining towns in Arizona. and Baghdad is one of them. And there's only like 800 people that live there, and every building is owned by the mine.
Oh, wow.
And I mean the grocery store, the bank. I mean, every building, every piece of property there is owned by, and people lease. But it's good for us to go in there because they want us there to help, give something back to the community. So,
Yep. No, that's the only reason I even know of Baghdad is because of you going there and having events.
right. So, the is Mid America still operating as a park?
Um,
Do you know?
from what I've been told, there's a buyer that's buying in, and Jason's still going to be part of it, but on a lesser scale. And the new buyer wants to have events, not races. He wants to do, car shows and concerts and stuff like that, and lean away from the racing.
Okay.
And, still doing riding in the park, but yeah, I think that can work out for us, because if we don't have a competing racetrack, 45 minutes down the road, that's definitely going to help
Right.
with starting a new track.
Excellent. Excellent. And you got investors in this new piece of property, or is it just you?
No, it's investors,
Okay, good.
because it's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, I would imagine. And how many acres is it? I forgot what you told me it was.
284, I think.
284. Wow.
But it goes up against the river, and there's U.S. Army Corps of Engineer land that we can tie into 26 miles of trails along that river on Army Corps.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So
that's nice.
Yep, it'll be there's the lower area of it's wet, so it'll be, mud bogging stuff, but then you can also go around that and go ride the trails where it's not all muddy and nasty.
Right. So once the deal with Robinette and Mid America stopped, you still did the Heartland racing, correct?
Yeah, because all of those racers were now stuck with nobody to run the races. So myself and business partner just decided to do it, and we lost money doing it, but it was
welcome to off-road racing.
Oh yeah. But it was good give the racers a place to race, because they were stuck, and so hopefully we'll get this thing stood up and get it going in 26 and have some good races again.
So you still doing airplanes, airboats, and some off-road racing though, right?
Yep. Yeah. Still working on that dream of running an endurance airboat race one of these days.
And any headway on that?
Yeah, we've got some people that are interested in helping with it in Oklahoma if we do it on the Arkansas, and then also same with running the red in between Oklahoma and Texas.
Very good. Good. I know the Red River.
Yep. So I think I can get 125 miles on the red.
What do you think you can get on the Arkansas?
I don't think I can get anywhere near that. I think only like 20, 30 miles.
And
just because of that,
laps would be terrible.
Laps would be not good. That's no. Yeah, my insurance would be like, no.
So it sounds like the red is the best option.
Yeah, and then I was talking to a fellow who just came and picked up my old props from my airboat on Marketplace. I sold him, and he runs an airboat club up on the St. John's, and he's like, shoot, he's like, we could get you a 50-mile run up there. So there's an opportunity once we get it done once and learn from it, that we can move around and do it in different places.
Guess you could do like a stage,
Ooh.
The first 50 miles, and then make sure the course is clear, give everybody a whatever time limit they need, and then do the second half back down.
Yeah, and I've thought about that, and that's definitely doable.
Yeah, especially
if you're using transponders, so you've got 100% accountability of all your racers.
Right, where they're at.
Yep.
So, but is that those rivers are navigable only? I mean, can regular boats run those, or?
In places, but normally no. It's shallow and sandy and rocky.
Okay. So any kind of recovery crews out there and stuff are going to have to be small draft boats.
Yep. Or vehicles. They just drive out there on the sand. I'd take the Mechalodge out there and pull boats out.
There you go. So then, what else? What else have you been doing over the last 3 years? You've been doing some desert racing.
Yeah, raced with Pat Sims, some, and then raced with Terry Madden and Lucy Block and Leah Block in a Can-Am last year at the Baja 1000, and won our class. And that was pretty cool to have somebody down there and take them pre-running that never raced in Mexico, and then actually win it. I mean, Lucy and Leah are both awesome drivers. They were killing it. And then Terry, of course, is the co-driver.
Right.
So he took care of them. And yeah, we started 8th in class and finished first by like 2.5 hours over second.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And that was more of the I hate to use the word stock, but more of a factory chassis and everything. It's not like the chassis that they were using at the Hammers for the 4400 class, right?
Nope, it had a factory chassis, and aftermarket cage, aftermarket seats and harnesses, of course, all the safety stuff.
Right.
It was factory A-arms, factory axles, like it was almost as close to off the showroom as you can get with adding the safety stuff.
And what size tires did those run?
We ran a 35 on that one.
A 35, okay.
Yep.
Because that's what that front arm on those things is designed for, correct?
Yes. Okay. You can get a 37, but you got to play with your offset. And I know they've done it on machines, but yeah, we ran the 35 to keep the weight down, and it worked. The thing lived. The only work we had to do on it, they got hit by a trophy truck in a silt bed north of Loreto.
Ouch.
Yeah. Luckily they were okay, and it broke the right rear of the car, but we had a whole nother car on the trailer behind the chase truck in pieces. And so we just changed out the whole right rear assembly, axle, arms, shock, whole 9 yards.
And still beat the competition by 2 hours.
Yep.
Pretty good.
So yeah, it was a good effort, and had a good team, and yeah, I enjoyed that one. That was fun.
And was that the only team that you worked with this year or this last year?
It was Pat Sims and then Terry and Lucy. Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
But then we've been back and forth into Colorado, working on the Pikes Peak hill climb car. That thing's coming along pretty good. Brandon's been killing it on that thing.
And let's talk about that. What is it?
It's a 67 Coronet RT. Real nice Colorado car. Was sold the first time in Pueblo, so it's no rust, real solid car to start with. And then we took it to Schwartz Performance, and they 3D scanned the entire car. And then we built a rectangle tube chassis for the whole car. So now it's a frame car instead of unibody. We've got a 840 horse Hemi, one of the Red Eye Hellcat motors.
Wow. And
a T56 6-speed Magnum manual to go behind it. Ford 9-inch, 32 spline, coilovers, big sway bars, gigantic Bear brakes. I got 14s with 6S monocoque pistons in the front, and then 13s in the rear with 4 pistons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the driver of record on that?
That's me.
Nice.
Yeah, I've raced the peak 3 times before, and now that it's all asphalt, I wanted to do it in something vintage, and so Brandon found this car on Marketplace out of Denver, and we went and got it. And been working on it for a couple of years now, but now it's coming down to the home stretch. We got the motor and trans in, and I took the car out to Salt Lake to cagekits.org.
Okay.
and they 3D scanned the inside of the car and then designed a Pikes Peak legal, well, pretty much every sanctioning body legal cage, and they drew it up on CAD, sent it to me. I sent it to the tech at Pikes Peak. Randy approved it, and so I told them to go, and they knocked it out, and it's all CNC bent, laser notched and etched, and they put it on a pallet and shipped it to me.
Nice.
So now it's going to be fun putting it together. And I've talked to Jake Povey, who did a lot of the welding on the TTB car back at Torchmate, and he's going to come down and weld it together for me.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, his welds look like a dang machine did it.
And are you guys going to be ready for this Pikes Peak, or are you shooting for 26?
No, plan is for this one. We're paddling hard.
Right. And you got a couple, don't you have a couple other cars that that you've been working on?
Yeah, I bought a Class 5 Unlimited from Gene Mooneyham, and we've been working on it. I got a new fuel cell getting built for it. We want to race Nora with it. And then
and that was a what class?
Class 5 Unlimited.
Oh, Class 5 Unlimited. Okay. That's
Yep.
For those that don't know, that's a Volkswagen powered. Is it got to be a beam car?
It has to be a beam car, but in the Unlimited, everybody runs a Ecotech.
Okay.
So it's got the Chevy Ecotech and then a Weddle H pattern transaxle.
All right.
Or sorry, not Weddle. But yeah, it's got King coilovers and bypasses all the way around, and it's a good little car. It's that one that Gene ran around without at the Hammers for years.
Okay.
He let me drive it one day, and I told him, I said, if you ever go to get rid of this, you call me. Well, about 4 years later, he called me, and I went down and picked it up.
And it had the Eco in it at that time?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I didn't pick it up. Darren and Darlene were down there, Hanky, and they brought it back to Colorado for me. So I just went up to their place and picked it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that'll be Nora, the 1,000. Let's see, which race do they do first in the beginning of the year? Is that the 500 or the 1,000?
No, it's the 1,000.
1,000. Okay.
In April.
Is it going to be ready for that?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So looking at 26 probably.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll get a good program going and get down there in 26. And I've talked to Jeremy Dickinson, and he wants to go, and talked to Terry, and I don't know if they're going to do something on their own with Lucy and them in a side by side, or if they're going to run with us. So still got plans to make.
Cool. Excellent. And any other cars?
Yeah, I did that little Nissan 240SX with a 416 stroker LS in it.
Right.
That thing is, whew, it is fun. It is extremely fast.
And that is built to do what besides just burn the tires off?
We built it as kind of a practice car for the Coronet.
Okay.
To learn how to drive fast on two-wheel drive on asphalt again, because I haven't raced asphalt since I was in Europe. And because when I was stationed over there, I raced Hockenheimring, Nürburgring, and Spa in Belgium. But that's a long time ago. So down here in Florida, and Skip Barber is not far down the road from where I'm at in Florida, over in Sebring. And so I think I'm going to bring that Nissan down here and actually go through the Skip Barber school in that car.
Nice.
If they'll allow it. I haven't even talked to them about it yet, but I have to see if they use just their cars or if they let you bring your car. So, but I figure it can't hurt, because I remember when Brad Lovell went to one of the driving schools at, I think it was Skip Barber, but that's back when we were racing Pro Light. I was crew chiefing for him, and it improved him. He came back and he had different braking techniques, trail braking it, and different apexing on the corners. So it definitely improved his skill, which was, he was already a good driver, but it made him better.
Right.
So I figure it can't hurt teaching old dogs some new tricks.
Right. No, that's great. And you've got you still have your place in Colorado Springs.
Yep. Yeah, I got the place there in Fountain.
And then you're in Well, if I said Fountain, unless you were from Colorado, most people wouldn't know where Fountain is.
No, just a suburb of Colorado Springs.
Yep. And then you got the place in Texas or in Florida.
Yep. Yeah, I'm down here in Mayaca, out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. I've been there. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's funny. Michelle's out here feeding the cows pellets every night, and we're chasing her around like a bunch of giant dogs.
And then you have a place in Oklahoma as well?
Yep. Yeah, we bought a lake house there on Grand Lake, and it's right by the Disney riding area. So I got the best of both worlds. I can be on the rocks in about 2 minutes, and I can just walk down to my dock and get in my boat if I want to be on the lake.
Nice.
So,
And then you don't have to go to the park there that everybody else has to go to, or most people have to go to. I forget the name of the park now, where they do big dogs, or they did.
yeah, no, and the BMR is coming up in March, the big meat run, and I'm actually co-chair on a nonprofit that runs the events at BMR and helps promote it. It's called Discover Disney Island, and so they asked me to co-chair it to, try to give something back, and it's been pretty cool. We put on a knockout race this year. We're going to do it on Friday afternoon of BMR on the Grand Staircase.
Nice.
And just a little short course deal up and down the Grand Staircase, and it's been pretty fun the last couple of years. And then on Saturday, we're doing a bounty. There's a new bounty to the left of Nasty Girl that has never been topped. So we're going to do a true bounty. If nobody makes it out, nobody gets paid.
There you go.
We're not going to do the highest mark gets paid. So it'll just roll over to the next time that we hit that bounty in an official capacity. So whoever makes it out gets to name it and gets the money.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah, I'm taking some lessons from old Clyde Bynum and doing some some bounty stuff.
Nice. That's awesome. I think that there's enough room across the spectrum of off-road for multiple promoters to do what needs to be done, as long as everybody's not trying to stomp on each other.
Agreed. Yeah, and that's always been something I know you stressed, is not putting dates on top of other organizations, and I've always tried to do that as well.
Right. I always tried to respect everybody's historical dates and hoped that people would respect our historical dates, but that always hasn't worked out.
No, sometimes they don't pay attention.
Oh, they're paying attention.
Yeah, I know. It just sucks because everybody loses when you do that.
Correct. Because the drivers can't go back to back as much as promoters would like them to. So
no, hell, even like a 3-week lead time in between races is still super tight. And that's what we always try to give them, is a minimum of 3 weeks.
Right. Yep.
But running multiple stuff, they're busy.
Yeah, absolutely. And and for them to to pull in the sponsorship that they need to make a program work, most times they need to run multiples. So
yeah, no, agreed. You're getting on multiple platforms and getting different eyeballs on you, and that's where we've always struggled in this industry, is trying to get outside eyeballs, outside marketing partners, just outside of our core industry.
Right. And it's difficult.
Yep. So that's why I'm hoping that the place outside of Tulsa, if we can get a short course going there, then we're going to start hitting a new audience, getting some newer eyeballs with some casual spectators, since we're that close to town.
Right. And then you got to talk to Taylor Sheridan and get him to do some of his Tulsa King shows out there or something.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, that dude is a writer. I've been watching some of his shows, and I am impressed of his writing abilities.
Yeah, and the broad range. I mean, everybody gets on there. I do it when I watch his shows, and I'm like, yeah, that's not true to life. That's not. They kind of bunch like you take Landman. Everything a true oil landman doesn't do everything that
Right.
character is doing. But you couldn't have, 10 people trying to do that.
No.
So it makes sense to condense. And the same with, I'm sure some of the military experts, that have been in those situations, where, that they try to do in television, are cringing when they see
Oh,
the shows, that kind of thing. And God knows what the mafia thinks, I mean,
yeah, no doubt. They're just laughing.
they probably are.
Yeah, there's sometimes when you watch a military show after doing 21 years in the Army and you see some of the stuff, and you're like, who is their consultant? Good grief.
If they have one, exactly.
Yeah, but some of them get it. Some of them nail it. Like the Hurt Locker.
Right.
That movie was one of the best. I mean, the uniforms were correct. The bumper numbers on the vehicles were correct. It just, they nailed it. And then with the subject matter, it was a really good movie.
Huh. I'll have to check that one out. I never saw it.
Yeah, it's a good watch.
So yeah,
But
one of the things that cracks me up is like shows like FBI or some of those, more cop like shows, is that every time they go, oh my God, that's a 9mm round. Guy must be using a Glock. Like, in fact, my mom is caught onto that. Whenever they say 9mm, must be a Glock. It's like,
that's funny.
Glocks are common, but it's not the most. I mean, it's not the only 9mm out there.
Yeah, no, I know. That's funny, but true.
So then, what else? What else you got been doing the last 3 years?
Well, we finished the Mega Dodge, that 64 4-door swept line that we
Right.
built on 9-ton militaries, 4-wheel steer, 56-inch ag tires, and that thing turned out amazing out of the box. Everything worked perfect. The brakes, the steering, the cooling, the 4-wheel steer, self-centering. Just, I've never had a project that was that perfect out of the box.
Nice.
And we've taken it to Rednecks with Paychecks. We've taken it out to Moab and wheeled around the Area BFE, wheeled around out on Hill's Revenge with it. Wheeled all over Disney with it. Did the staircase and the waterfall and nosedive and all that stuff. The thing just works. It's a lot of fun.
So Rednecks, that's an interesting event.
It is interesting.
We went out there and looked at maybe putting on a dirt riot race.
Right.
During that, we went out to look at what they were doing with their little short rock race, and
Yep.
I just, at that point, I was like, the exposure for us to put on a race out there.
Yeah, during that event is impossible.
Yeah, and that was
I know.
early on.
Yeah, I looked at the same thing, and I'm like, not during the event. We can do a race here, not during the event, but not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. I go there and I help Derek and his guys run the races, and we actually got Rugged Radio donated a bunch of handhelds and chargers and headsets, because these guys are trying to run like these mega truck races with the little earbuds in, and I'm like, no man, you guys need headsets. And so we got Rugged donated that stuff to their organization, and it game changer. There, Josh was like, oh my gosh, I can hear now.
Right.
So that's been pretty cool, and it's been a good relationship going down there and hanging out with them and hanging out with Chip, and we used to hang out with Zandy and Ange down there, and Ange came back out. We were with Rockhold, and Chip came out and Ange came out, and so that was cool to hang out with them again there.
Nice.
But it's just good people watching and playing in the mud, and that Mega Dodge, she does pretty good. I have gotten stuck, but it does pretty dang good.
So, yeah, the first time we drove up, parking in the parking lot, and there was a guy from the night before laying in the grass. I won't call him naked, and I won't call him half naked, but he was somewhere close to between the two on the spectrum. He was probably closer to the naked side. I think he
Yeah.
might have had skivvies on is all, and laying in the mud in the parking lot. And this was like, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be good.
Yeah, it's always interesting.
So then we got some new stuff coming up. You called me a couple of months ago and asked me a question, and I said, yeah, I'd be interested. And then you just called me last week and told me this thing was going to happen for sure.
Yep. Yeah, we're doing a short course rock race at Area BFE. So where I won't say where XRA started, because they had started over in Colorado.
Right.
But definitely where it grew, when we had that first race there in 05, when we got snow the night before the race. That was the first race for Old Blue. I'd driven it out of the shop onto the trailer and then off the trailer to the start line. That's how far I'd driven it. And yeah, that was our very first rock race in the XRA. And then of course we ran with Mike and Jody for years. And I don't know, I was just talking to Robert Lucero out at Area BFE, and he was wanting to do something on Big Saturday. And so we came to the idea of doing a short course rock race. And so then, as you were saying, that I called you and talked to you about it, at one, picking your brain about format and stuff like that, since you've been, of course, doing this for longer than all of us. But then to ask you to be the Grand Marshal. And Robert was super excited about the idea, and then called you back and said, yeah, let's go. So I think it's going to be really cool. We're going to do 3 classes. There'll be a side-by-side class, and then a big car class, 37-inch tire and down. No side-by-sides in that one. And then an unlimited class, which is a 38-inch and up tire with no side-by-sides.
Okay. So side-by-sides, no matter what, everything's grouped together.
Yeah, all side-by-sides in one class. So I don't care if it's turbo, non-turbo. I don't care what size tire you run. I don't care if you run tire balls. Just come racing. And it's going to be short. It's all going to be up in the playground up top. So it'll be, you're racing side by side in your own cordoned off lane, but you're not really racing the person next to you. You're racing the clock, because the courses will diverge. And then we'll run that, switch lanes, then move through the bracket and switch the direction. So run it backwards and then switch lanes.
So it's going to be bracket racing. It's not going to be like combined time.
Oh no, it'll still be combined time.
Okay.
When I meant moving through the bracket, I meant just moving down the race order.
Okay.
And we're not going to do qualifying. We're just going to do a random draw, and no pre-running. You can walk it, can't drive it.
Perfect.
Yep. That way it just keeps it level for people that can't get there, ahead of time to be able to pre-run. But we'll do some registration and tech stuff down at Robert's shop in Moab, on the north end of town there on Friday. And then we'll get after it on Saturday.
Where's his place on the north end?
Before the first Maverick. So where used to be a really good Mexican restaurant next to the Rock Shop?
Yep.
Directly across from that Rock Shop.
Okay. All right.
And he's got it built up and all branded up, Area BFE. You can't miss it.
Cool.
But he's been killing it out there with his tour business. He's the one of the companies that has rock buggies that Randy has built that people can rent and go on tours.
Very nice.
Yeah, no, he's been really working hard on that, and then working hard on Area BFE, trying to improve stuff out there. And it's just, he's got a lot of irons in the fire, but
Well, and he increased the size of the park, didn't he? Didn't he get that
yeah,
piece of property that was Lower Eldorado that was closed for so long?
yes, he did. Yep. He got that bought. And so it opened Lower back up, and we were actually able to race in it. And it was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite trails way back in the day, when I was going there for the first time back in the '90s. It was I really enjoyed that. I had a CJ7 with 35s, and it was just one locker, and it was amazing that I really liked that trail for that
Oh yeah,
rig.
I bet that was a challenge.
Yeah, there was
sure.
that one rock, shark's tooth or whatever we called it, and it
Yep.
dented the top of the hood about a third of the way across on that
Yep.
CJ7, and I was like, okay, that was interesting. Thought I was gonna miss it. Nope.
Yep. No, we ran it. The first time I went in there was with Kevin from Grand Junction, and then Kevin from Moab. Kevin with the little teal quarter lip Jeep.
Yep, Kevin Hawkins and Kevin Carroll.
Yep. No, not Kevin Carroll.
Okay.
Kevin from Firehouse Racing. He used to have a shop over in Grand Junction.
Okay.
But yeah, he had his yellow bobtailed Toyota, and I had my black bobtailed Toyota, and Kevin had his green Jeep, and we ran into Kevin at the diner. He goes, "Hey, you guys want to go run a new trail?" Absolutely. So he took us down there and we ran it, and it was early. I don't know how many times it'd been run, but there was not many tracks through there.
Right.
It was fresh, but it was really cool. And of course, that black Toyota works really, really well, just with the wheelbase and how stretchy it was for a leaf spring rig. But yeah, that's the same truck that I drove down in '98 to Bob Hazel's deal in Las Cruces, and competed it, finished 14th out of 40.
Nice.
Drove it there and drove it home.
Yeah, that was one of that was the Las Cruces event. That was the one that rookie Jeff Wagner won, wasn't it?
Yep, sure was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool because I mean Mike Palmer was there, and the Currys were there, and the Fire Ant, and good Lord, Shannon was there. Randy Ellis was there. Chip Monk was there in his buggy, and so was oh shoot, I'm losing his name.
Pat Gramillion was there.
Pat was there.
Harold Off.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
Harold Off was there.
that was the who's who of rock crawling back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and we may or may not have gotten 86th out of the only bar that's close there.
Geez, that never happened.
Well, you get Randy Ellis and Campbell in the same room, and things go sideways.
Still?
Yeah, still to this day. But that was a good time. Way back when.
And what do you foresee? You know, I know that 3 years ago, what you foresaw may not have been where you're at now, but you know, it's always cool to look to the future, and then once you get to that future, look back and say, okay, well, I missed the mark on that, or man, I hit that one. I hit a home run on that. So, what do you think's coming up?
I'm really excited about this race at BFE, just to get back to, you know, where we started doing short course rock racing stuff before it went into the big endurance stuff, desert style, and just having some fun with it, and putting on a good event for drivers to come out and have some fun, and they can, you know, really send it because they're right next to the trailer. So it's not like they're going to have to be stuck out in the wilderness for half a day. But yeah, then just looking forward to that Pikes Peak deal. and learning that, learning the car and getting to run up America's Mountain again. Like I said, been privileged to be able to race it 3 times, and really looking forward to racing that again. And then getting the HRA back up and going. That's really excited. I know there's a lot of drivers and teams out there that are waiting to see what we're going to do, and we're hoping we can get it done in 26 and not disappoint them and give them a good place to go racing.
And the HRA is the Heartland.
Yep, Heartland Racing Association. But we also, I talked to Scott Rain the other day, and he's working at Arrowhead Speedway in Oklahoma, and it's an amazing track. It's a clay circle track, and it's black clay. And I went there for a race, and they watered it and rolled it at the beginning of the night, and then never touched it, and it never dusted, and it didn't blue.
That's crazy.
It was amazing. And they've got a bunch more of that material, and they want us to come there and do a stadium style side-by-side race. And we've done that before back with Torque, racing at a circle track in Ohio and in at Oshkosh. And you use part of the straightaways and the turns, and then you turn and go into the infield and have jumps and switchbacks and whoop sections, and then get back up on the oval and have a big jump, start finish line jump. And I think that's definitely doable. We might even try to hit one of those at the end of this year. We've been talking to them about it, and get in the fall when it cools off a little bit and just have like an invitational.
So no gap jump?
No. No gap jump. That didn't play out well.
Yeah, just one vehicle would have been enough. The thought, of one vehicle crashing like that would have been enough to say, this is not a smart idea. I hate to throw anybody under the bus. I don't know whose idea it was or who built them or whatever, but, I'm sure I'll get a phone call at some point, somebody going, thanks for throwing me under the bus. But, I remember out at Ram where Chiddix they'd put in a gap jump that they could jump.
Right.
Ray and Chiddix, in their cars. And I'm like, that's great. But what happens if somebody doesn't clear it?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody can clear it. I said, no. What if somebody loses a cylinder, in the last, 100 feet before they get to that gap jump? And it was just, to me, it was just too much exposure putting in a gap. But
yeah, that was when you came up to that one, you better be on your JOB. I know Matt Thompson was co-driving for me one time when it was the step up gap, land, and then step up triple gap.
Right. I didn't mind those, but I remember what was it, Brian Gillespie?
Yep.
He cased it, and
yeah, hit hard.
Yeah, and he took a ride.
Yep.
If I remember right, an ambulance ride, and that was those were the step ups. There was one that they wanted put in the back, that the main trail went underneath, and we used to run down underneath, drop into it, run it, and then come back out.
Yeah,
and
I know the one you're.
I'm like, there's no freaking way that I'm running anybody across that. And they go, well, get in the car and we'll pre-run it. I said, no. I have absolutely no desire to that. Because unless the car is built for me, I ain't fitting in most cars.
Yeah.
Most of these drivers are, skinny ass little guys.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that one back there. Matter of fact, I tried to jump that with just front drive, and I lit the other side, and it stood it on its nose. And Mike Hoop, you remember that name?
Yep.
He got a picture of it from the skylift, and it's over center on the front tires, and you can see the front tires are spinning out because I'm bent my throttle pedal. I stood on it so hard, and I drove out of it. But boy, that hurt.
Well, yeah. Did you read what happened to Dwayne Garrettson and his co-pilot when they cased it?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
called Dwayne the other day and talked to him and just checking on him
Good.
and his guys. Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, and it's good that the horns didn't get hurt any worse than they did.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And everybody
Yeah,
on all these internet experts, well, that was stupid. They should have gone around or whatever. When in a racing situation like that, sometimes you just don't remember where the hell you're at.
that's true.
Especially when
You
you're
know,
transitioning from a trail into the short course.
yep. Yeah, that's true. You get that red mist going, trying to chase somebody down and forget where you are.
Yep. Like I said, I'm probably going to get a call from somebody, but I don't care.
I bet you're rich.
I'm retired enough now where it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
have to be kind so much.
yeah. I have seen you've been doing a lot more work with Ormhoff. That's really cool.
Yes, Ormhoff is the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame is real important to me. The building up of the rock crawling side or rock sports side is going well. Getting everybody, got to get more nominations in for rock crawlers or rock sports. March is nomination month. Anybody that's listening to this, you can go to ormhoff.org and see the information available that you need to do an application to get somebody inducted. And we take those from March 1st through the 31st. The information is up, but the applications will be open on March 1st. And then, we're looking to expand, or I'm looking to expand the rock sports side of our business in Ormhoff, the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. And I know that you've come to a couple of the to the galas, and there's something to behold. I mean, this last year we had 800 attendees.
I know. When you told me you sold out, I was stoked. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's just incredible. And
got some big names already in rock sports in there.
Yeah. Shannon.
There's Lance, Shannon Campbell,
Dean Bullock.
Oh, the Iceman. I just talked to him the other day.
Oh, nice. And then we got Marlon Chakowski for Marlon Crawler.
And Brad Lovell.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else.
Then it gets into land use, the more of the side. So you got, Del Albright and Bob Ham and, you got the land use side of the hall or the industry is, represented fairly well. I think that there's always room for more, but it's a again, it's the education of the people all across the spectrum of off-road. We just got Ken Block in, and from Raleigh, and then same thing with Millen, and then we have John Nelson from the designer of Tiny.
Yep.
Which was the most innovative rock crawler in history.
That changed everything.
Yeah, it sure did. In a hurry.
Yep. Yeah, that car with Bundrant behind the wheel, man, and even the other drivers after John, that car was pretty amazing.
Yes. Yep.
And now watching stuff out at BFE, like I helped them do their Black Flag deal this past year, and we're going to do that again this year. I think either Thursday or Friday before the race on Saturday, we're going to do a Black Flag challenge deal. And I mean, there's things like watching McKinley and oh God, all those guys, it's amazing what they can do with those cars. And
they're surgeons.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just amazing to watch.
Yeah, those trail breaker type events are pretty cool because especially with what like my son is setting up at Trail Hero, they're his idea is we're going to put it on something that nobody's driven and may never drive and see who
Right.
can do it.
Yep. No, and I went out there that one time to Trail Hero and helped Rich run the little sand course that he had set up and jump in the road, and that was cool. It was a neat event. I was impressed. Your kid definitely knows how to put on an event.
Yep. Yep, that's true.
Yeah, he has really good people, and yeah, just the concerts he gets in there and the events, the timing, the scheduling. I was impressed. It was a good event.
Yeah, the amount of trail riders he gets is incredible. I mean, it's now it's the event to attend.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, kind of even overshadowing EJS.
Yeah. Well, and it's EJS is limited. I still like Moab for the sightseeing type of trails because
Right.
all the trails there are just incredible for the sights and the terrain and the epicness of it,
Yep.
if that's even a word. But
It is now.
yeah, it is now. Uh, Sand Hollow, the while it is a gorgeous area, it doesn't have that same vastness that, of course, Moab does.
Right, but it got better wheeling.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, when it comes to technical wheeling, plus it's open. They can drive anywhere they want on that BLM piece of land in that limited acreage that they have there.
Right.
Where with Moab, you're stuck to the trails. There's no open area except for Area BFE, and even at that, they want you to stick to the trails.
Right.
You just can't go, oh, here, I'm going to go cut this on my own.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's where I got lucky working with Robert out there, and got Goodby and Bird came out there, and we got the excavator and the bulldozer on the side of that dang cliff and made another road so we could race up and down. And I walked that cliff for 4 days trying to find the spot, and finally found it. And I remember when I talked to you afterwards, you're like, you did what?
Exactly. Because we'd run the top, and then we'd send everybody, everybody'd get a full lap and then part of a lap at the top, and then we'd run down the road, and then the road was closed. And
Right.
then we'd do 4 laps across the trails, and then the road would open and people could come back up.
Right.
So it never would have two-way traffic on it. But then we had to do that in heats. So like the 4400s or the unlimited cars would, we'd do 2 heats. And it, it just, it worked. We made it work, but it was pretty difficult, just because if somebody broke on the trails, trying to get them out of the way, it was never like, oh, we're going to get you back up to the pits. Sorry, you're waiting until afterwards.
Yeah.
We're going to get you out of the way, and that's it.
Have you run? We called it the Abyss. Have you run that one since we put it in?
No. Nope.
I'll have to take you down there and show you.
Okay.
It turned out pretty good, and it's only a little sketchy.
Well, I'll be out there, but I'll be out there in my Raptor. I don't think I'll have the new V8 Jeep done yet, and I have to be there for Easter Jeep and the the vendor show on the Thursday and Friday, representing Wormhoff. So I won't be able to make it out there any sooner. Well, I can come. I should be there by Tuesday or Wednesday, so maybe I can sneak out there beforehand.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be out there.
But,
we'll be out there.
But I'll be looking forward to Saturday for sure. And being a Grand Marshal, I'm not sure what my duties are going to be except to just look pretty, which is hard for me to do, but I don't mind trying.
No, it's all you got to do, and talk at the driver's meeting, and just be Big Rich, because everybody loves to see you and talk to you and hang out. And I think it's really cool that you've agreed to be the Grand Marshal for our race.
Well,
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm really thrilled to have been asked, and I appreciate that, and it's absolutely an honor for sure.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be really cool, and we're gonna open the entry on March 1st, and we're gonna see how it goes. We may have to limit it per class. So.
Okay, well, everybody that's listening to this, if you're going to race out there, if you're thinking about it, as soon as March 1st comes around, you better get your entry in.
Yeah, because if it blows up, we're gonna have to clip it to be able to fit all this in one day.
Yeah, for sure, especially with 3 classes and everybody getting 2 runs if they're runnable.
Yep, exactly.
There's always going to be guys that break out.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's nature of the beast.
Do you remember the rail slide they used to have there?
Oh, yes.
We were racing out there that one time, and Craig Stumps was in his car, and he didn't hit that rail fast enough. He slid to a stop right out in the middle and looked like a turtle stuck on a log. I was like, oh man.
Too funny.
Yeah.
That's not still out there, is it?
Nope. No, they're gone.
Oh, good.
Because if they were there, I'd use them. But yeah, we're looking forward to that, and looking forward to hanging out with you and Shelly.
Excellent. We're looking forward to it as well. So, JT, I want to say thank you so much for updating us over your last 3 years of life, and I'm looking forward to the race coming up here at Area BFE, and it's that everybody. It's that XRA style short course, head to head. 2 cars at a time, one in each lane, and then it'll get flip-flopped, and so everybody will get to run the A and the B course. So everybody come back out and enjoy it. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a good time. Like I said, Michelle and I will be out there at the beginning of the week, so holler at me when we all are getting out there. Great. Sounds good. All right, JT, well, cool. Thank you so much for letting me come back on, and I'm stoked to be the first of the repeats. So looking forward to hearing this one. All right. You take care, and we'll talk some more. Thanks, Rich. Okay. Bye-bye. Well, that's another episode of Conversations with Big Rich. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you could do us a favor and leave us a review on any podcast service that you happen to be listening on, or send us an email or a text message or a Facebook message, and let me know any ideas that you have, or if there's anybody that you have that you think would be a great guest, please forward the contact information to me so that we can try to get them on. And always remember, live life to the fullest. Enjoying life is a must. Follow your dreams and live life with all the gusto you can. Thank you.